All right, folks. Today we're diving into a family struggle from r/relationship advice. What happens when a fun backyard lunch spirals into a chilling hospital visit, all because of a young boy's unsettling behavior? Join me as we unravel a tale of fear, deceit, and a family's desperate cry for help. How can I support my brother who has a horrible child that's ruining his life? Posted by Throw Nephew. Involved individuals: me, 29 female, my husband, 29 male, our 5-month-old daughter, my brother, 36 male, his wife, 34 female, and their kids, a 10-year-old boy and 6-year-old girl. A few months ago, my brother and his family visited us. It had been a strenuous and exhausting few weeks since I had my daughter, as anyone with a newborn would understand. I was feeling well enough to meet them and introduce them properly to my daughter. We were having lunch in the backyard when my niece discovered a furry brown caterpillar in the bushes. The kids were advised not to touch it due to the potential for poison. About 20 to 30 minutes later, my daughter started screaming. Just as I turned to her, I noticed my nephew stepping away from her bounce seat. I instantly sensed that he had done something. There were red blotches all over her neck and cheek. As I picked her up, I saw the caterpillar on the seat where her head had been. In a state of panic, my husband and I rushed to the ER while my brother's family remained at our house. By the time we reached the hospital, the side of my daughter's face had swelled up, and she was continuously shrieking. The doctor's diagnosis was quick. There were caterpillar spines embedded under her skin, confirming our suspicions. It appeared that my nephew had broken off the twig with the caterpillar. He hadn't been stung. While my daughter was asleep and no one was watching, he rubbed it on her face. I contacted my brother from the hospital. He confronted my nephew, who eventually claimed he had accidentally dropped it. He showed no remorse, as was usual for him. My husband and I had to speak with a child welfare worker. She also spoke to my brother, who came over to explain the situation. Although I understood that the hospital staff and the worker were just doing their jobs, the whole process was draining and exhausting. In the end, my husband and I weren't at fault for anything, but it was still a challenging ordeal. This incident was the final straw for us. I was infuriated with my nephew. Enraged doesn't even begin to describe it. Moreover, I was genuinely worried about my brother's family, even though I knew how irrational that might sound. Over the weekend, my husband and I had a lengthy video chat with my brother and his wife. They acknowledged that there was something seriously wrong with their son. They didn't downplay his behavior in the slightest. He frightened them. Conventional punishments didn't affect him. He remained unaffected by criticism, shouting, or logical reasoning. He sought revenge even if it took weeks. He was indifferent to rewards for good behavior. He seemed to prefer destructive actions over anything that could be taken away or used as a bribe. He placed upright tacks outside their bedroom door, causing my brother's wife to step on them. He soiled their bed with feces and once spread waste across every item of clothing in the drawers. He flooded the bathroom by letting the tub overflow and left the gas stove on. He played with fire on the stove when no one was around and multiple times triggered the smoke detector in the middle of the night. At one point, everyone except him fell ill. My sister-in-law caught him mixing cleaning fluid into leftover soup. He subjected his younger sister to countless acts of cruelty and fear, such as cutting her hair while she slept, placing chili pepper powder in her underwear, telling her that someone was coming to abduct her or harm their parents, and once releasing a garden snake into the tub while she was bathing. These are just a few examples that come to mind. He was also cruel to animals, pulling off insect wings, dismembering worms, and finding amusement in frightening cats and dogs. They had a pair of hamsters. One died mysteriously, and the other was thought to have escaped until it was found legless in a box under his bed. He tried to pin his actions on his sister, including the caterpillar incident, but my brother was aware of the truth. However, that didn't prevent him from consistently lying to anyone and everyone. They were bewildered about how to handle the situation. Apparently, he behaved perfectly at school, so his teachers were unaware of his behavior. On a few occasions, he deliberately injured himself and told a teacher that he was being abused at home. This resulted in 2 Child Protective Services investigations. These incidents happened to coincide with parent-teacher conferences, which strained my brother and his wife's relationship with the teachers, as they were unfairly seen as abusive parents. They sought help from several child psychologists, but he deceived them, either presenting as completely normal or recounting fabricated stories about his parents' supposed craziness or abuse. They refrained from seeking further professional help due to fear of more investigations. They were terrified that one day an accusation would stick, leading to the loss of their daughter and legal consequences. I informed them that as long as their son posed a threat, lied, and displayed unacceptable behavior, he couldn't be around my daughter. They respected this decision. The dilemma is that we miss spending time together. They live a couple of hours away, and we used to meet a few times a year. They were already socially isolated due to the overwhelming task of managing their son's behavior. Additionally, my sister-in-law's family forbade their children from interacting with him. He was also unwelcome at other kids' homes, and rumors about my brother and sister-in-law being abusive led to their gradual exclusion from the school community. They had a few friends without children, but their ability to socialize was limited. Hiring a babysitter wasn't an option due to his past behavior. Strangers, especially the teenage girls they used to hire, couldn't handle his actions. Consequently, my husband and I distanced ourselves from them as well. I feel tremendous guilt about this, knowing how little support they already had. While they understood that we needed to safeguard our daughter, it was evident that they were close to their breaking point. Their son's actions were tearing their lives apart, and they often felt unsafe in their own home. I had the chance to see them once since the incident, while my husband stayed home with our baby. This occurred a few nights ago. During dinner, their son surprisingly behaved well the entire time. When it was time to bid farewell, he whispered, "I wish you had brought baby. Her cries are adorable." I was too stunned to respond, and he stood there with a smug expression. Later, my brother sounded defeated when I mentioned it. They were simply relieved that he hadn't misbehaved during dinner. What can we possibly do to assist them? Has anyone encountered a child like this and discovered effective ways to handle the situation? This seems to extend beyond typical behavioral issues, and none of their efforts have yielded results. Wow, who knew caterpillars could cause such family drama? Seriously though, that kid needs a hobby, maybe like a non-destructive one. I mean, his creativity in chaos is almost commendable. Placing tacks on the floor, chili pepper in underwear, that's some next-level mischief right there. But hey, on the bright side, at least he's not bored. Props to the parents for their saint-like patience, because I would have shipped him off to Hogwarts by now, hoping they could deal with his magical talents. It's almost like he's auditioning for the next supervillain role. Someone get this kid a cape. And speaking of auditions, let's not forget those home acting skills with psychologists and teachers. This young man has a future in Hollywood, and he's not letting anyone stand in his way, not even hamsters. Rest in peace, little furballs. That parting line at dinner, "Her cries are adorable," that's some horror movie level stuff right there. If there was ever a time to drop the mic, this was it. This kid's going places, probably not places anyone would want to go, but places nonetheless. Keep an eye out. We might be seeing him on the big screen soon, in the thriller section. And to his family, hang in there. This too shall pass. Maybe, hopefully. Seriously though, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope you can find a way to recover from this and move on as a family. Hey wait, as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know what you would have done if you were in this situation down in the comments below. Anyways, stay safe out there in that crazy world. Much love, peace.